Finch here with Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb at 11 Alive News. Finch here today reporting with Glenn from WSB TV. When people ask me my passion, I simply reply, it's meteorology. I've always wanted to do meteorology. I've known that I've always wanted to do it ever since I was about 7 or 8 years old. And I really got interested when I first saw that my parents had a weather map in their closet, and I pulled it out and I was like, what is this? And I started drawing pictures on it, predicting the weather, and ever since then I've really started to embrace meteorology as a full-time career, and hopefully one day it will eventually take off and I will become a real meteorologist. That would be my dream, and that's my passion. Was it difficult for you to decide at first what was going to be your major? Was it hard? Did you have something else you wanted to do?
It was, because my intent was to be an astronaut. I've got good friends that have gone to the moon. I wanted to be an astronaut, but after being hit by lightning, I said, well, maybe meteorology. I worked at a TV station in Miami during the summers as an intern because my father was general manager of that station, so he would bring me in on weekends in the summer when I was a teenager to work. So I really liked the TV aspect, but I also loved the science. So my father, on our way home one day, he said, well, why don't you combine the two? And I said, well, what could I do? And they said, well, go hang out with our meteorologist and see if you like it. And I did, and he taught me a lot. And so I said, well, I'd love to do this. I could tell people what I know. I went and did a lot of journalism at the University of Florida, so it's important to have communicative skills to be able to let people know what you're thinking and how to communicate that well. So the journalism skills, the science skills. I took a lot of astrophysics and astronomy. So, and then at the University of Minnesota, where I did my graduate work, I did a lot of meteorology. So I had a lot of science. And one of the things that we have now, encouraged by the American Meteorological Society, is not only to be the meteorologist of the station, but to be the station scientist.
Most craziest storm I've ever been in was when we were in, I think it was Daytona Beach. We went on a trip, and it was spring break, and this tornado was forming in the sky, and it was really interesting to me, and I just wanted to be so close to that. I know people see tornadoes or storms and they want to instantly, their first instinct is to go away from it, but I want to be the one to run to it. What are your passions? What drives you?
I really love meteorology. You know, people always say in this business you should have a fallback plan because if something happens, you should have another career path chosen. I have no idea what else I would want to do if I wasn't doing this. I fell in love with weather as I was a young child. I met my favorite weatherman at the grocery store when I was just 6 years old, and I couldn't believe that that little person that I saw in the box in my house at home was actually a live human being that I saw in the toilet paper aisle at the grocery store. So that started my interest in TV news and also into weather, and it's just been my passion to do it all along, and I'm glad that I'm able to not only do what I want to do, but I'm also doing it in my hometown.
So what's your passion?
Well, I was actually nearly killed by lightning when I was 15 years old. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And for my 16th birthday, I wanted a diving mask and fins and the snorkel to go out diving. So I got it on my 16th birthday. It was a great Saturday afternoon. It was a beautiful blue sky, and my brother and I got our raft. We went way out on the reef in Fort Lauderdale. We're out there a couple of hours, and all of a sudden the water was starting to get really dark. So I looked back up toward the beach, and there's one of these huge Florida lightning storms coming up over the beach. And I said, oh my God, we got to get out of the water, because I saw the lightning. And so I'm racing back, and the waves are hitting us. So we made it back to the beach. My little brother tore off toward the parking lot where my mother was going to pick us up. And I said, let me get out of this messy rain and the wind. And I went by this Australian pine tree, and as I was getting close to it, maybe about 20 feet away, it got struck by lightning and blew up, knocked me to the ground. And from that point on, I was scared to death, needless to say. I wanted to learn everything about lightning. And and storms.
But you have some great questions, and best of luck to you or anybody who is interested in being in this business.
Yeah. It's not only my passion, but my overall true fascination to be alongside these atmospheric phenomenons.